Hello everybody, it's Michelle and I am not done with fall crafting just yet. I know most people have moved on to Christmas, but I've got some more fall things for you guys today. I've got some of these chalkboard plant markers that I'm going to use in a little bit of a different way. I'll be using my Waverly chalk paint in the color pumpkin and a sponge brush, some Spanish moss, and one of my wooden leaves from the Dollar Tree. I'm only going to need 3 of those. I'm just using these for the oval part. I'm going to see if I can cut away these stems. Try to do that with my heavy duty scissors. I got these on Amazon. I'll leave you guys a link to those as well. And they did a beautiful job. I just had gotten these. This is my first project with these. So I'll leave you guys a link to those, along with all of my other products as well. And that just cut through that like it was nothing. So I'm going to hang on to these. I'll probably be using one of those. Now I'm just going to take my Dollar Tree sanding block and smooth off that edge where I cut. So I've got a sheet of wax paper down here. I'm going to paint these with my Waverly chalk paint in pumpkin. And we're going to be making a pumpkin out of these. I think this is the best one. I want my best one in the middle. So what we're going to be doing here is essentially like the punch art. One of my earliest punch art projects was a pumpkin, and I used 3 of the egg shape, but I'm going to do the same thing here today with ovals. Now you can paint either side. I'm going to go ahead and paint over the black. Okay, this is my 3rd and final coat. So on my last coat, I just want to kind of dab my sponge on so that I kind of get a texture and avoid those streaks. Like I said, this is my 3rd coat, but I chose to go over the black side so that the back side of my piece will be that natural color. But if you're just painting over the natural side, or if you have some other wooden ovals that aren't black, you can probably just do 2 coats and that should be fine. So I like that little bit of a stippled texture that you can get with these sponge brushes. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these stems and I'm going to cut it off at an angle. And I want that to be my pumpkin stem. And I'll just go ahead and go over that with a little bit of my antique wax, also from Waverly. I'm going to sand that a little with my Dollar Tree sanding block. And I'm just going to kind of round those corners off and give that a little bit of an uneven edge. And it'll look more like a pumpkin stem that way. And then we'll just let everything dry. So after these have completely dried, we're ready to put this together. And what I want to do is put these 2 completely together. And then I'm going to tilt them a little bit so that they're a little wider at the top than they are at the bottom. And then I'm just going to use some hot glue to put my middle one right over the top of those. And I'm going to scoot it a little farther downward. And if you want to, you can put some other glue in under there to give a more permanent hold, but that hot glue really holds fast. Okay, so now I'm going to put my stem, and maybe I'll have it just a little crooked. And I can put my hot glue right on the bottom part of that. And then just set it on the way I want it. You can have your stem straight up if you want, but I like that look. I think that's kind of cute with it going sideways. And I'm going to use just a little bit of my Spanish moss to be like my curly vines. Just a little bit of hot glue on that top middle part. And stick that right in. And then you can trim it up however you want. Now for my leaf, I'm going to use one of these from the Dollar Tree. Just a little bit of hot glue right on the stem of that. And stick it on. So now, here is the part that I was really anxious to show you guys. The reason I wanted the small ovals, first of all, is I wanted something maybe I could stand up on a tiered tray or something like that for decoration. So I came up with an idea. So what I'm going to do is turn that over backwards, and I'm going to put a clothespin with the wide open part toward the bottom. And I'm just going to hot glue that on. Just going to eyeball that and get it as much upright as I can. And that spans across the stem as well as the ovals. So it's going to help hold everything together as well. So while that glue sets just a little bit more, I'm going to take my Antique Wax by Waverly. Kind of get some of that off there and do maybe a dry brushing technique. Just for a little bit of a distressed look on the pumpkin. Maybe to give the illusion of some of those grooves that are in the pumpkin. I'm kind of going along with the curve of the oval. Maybe a little more on the stem, on the leaf, maybe even a little bit on those vines. And that was just the lightest coat. Okay, so here's the fun part, you guys. So in order to make this stand on a tiered tray, you can just let it lean like that if you want to. But what I figured out is if you hold that down, you can pull this until that clicks into that notch there, and then it'll stand up. Really easy for you on your tiered tray. So I really think that's a lot of fun. You could make these place cards. You could write names on here, or even use your Cricut and cut out a vinyl name to put on there. And then they'd have that to take home as well. And I always love when something at the place setting can be a little favor to take home. And I love the way that clothespin stands up there. And you can do that with any size clothespin. I really love that idea, and I'm going to be using that a lot. So leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give me a like over on my Facebook page, and be sure to join our Facebook group, Crafty Minds. Also, follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll have all of those listed in the description below, so be sure and check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.